Welcome back to Back in the Game podcast. We're excited for this episode today, and I'm going to introduce you to my co host, Adam Chapman. I'm Todd Chase Jr. What's going on, buddy?
Hey man, how are you?
Oh, it's been a long week, but
You're not muted, are you?
no. I made sure this time, before I even said anything, that everything was right back to where it should have been last week or the week before. I can't remember which one it was, but
All right.
anywho, we're here to sit here and talk about football, man. It is great that football has been back for the last 3-4 weeks now. And what are your takes on everything so far?
Um, it's pretty good. I ain't gonna sit there and act like it's bad. I mean, it's great to have it back for sure. Definitely some surprises.
Hmm.
I think it's happened over the past 2 weeks. I guess now going on 3 weeks, starting tonight.
Yep.
So yeah, it is what it is, but we'll see.
All right. Well, let's just jump right into it and start with some college football. We got some big games this week. You got the Big Ten opening up their conference play this week. You've also got teams like Ohio State who actually aren't starting their conference play until next week, but this week they got a big game. They're playing Notre Dame at Notre Dame.
Yeah, I'm loading up all my stats and stuff right now. Looking forward to this week's college games. There ain't no Tennessee playing. Well, Tennessee is playing, but we don't care now about them because they stink.
Yeah.
So looking forward to all of it. I'm still loading up all my stuff. So
Well, while you're loading up all your stuff, we'll go run through the top 25 right now. Florida is now currently number 25 in the nation. Iowa is number 24. Tennessee, who you just mentioned, is now number 23.
should
UC,
be they'll be out over here soon, by the way.
what's that?
And Tennessee will be out of the top 25 here soon. I promise.
Oh yeah, I could see it happening. UCLA is now at 22. Washington State at 21, and the University of Miami, Florida, is at number 20. Colorado is now number 19, which is big news for them because I believe this game this week will be the fifth straight game that's going to be nationally broadcasted. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I guarantee it's going to be Joel Klatt and Gus Johnson calling that game again.
100%. 100%.
Uh, Duke is
Oh,
now number 18, North Carolina 17, Oklahoma 16, Ole Miss 15, Oregon State number 14. Alabama jumps up to number 13. I believe they were a ways down there past few weeks. LSU is at 12. Utah at 11. And here is your top 10 in the nation. Oregon is at number 10. Notre Dame, who we just mentioned, playing Ohio State, they're number 9. Washington is at number 8. Penn State is at number 7. Ohio State is at 6. USC is at number 5. Florida State has fallen back to number 4. Texas is still number 3. And Michigan is at number 2. And Georgia is still at number 1.
yeah, pretty good lineup. Actually, that's it might be the first time I've ever said this, but I actually do agree with them rankings.
Yeah, I mean, at
Yeah,
least the top 5, I would say I
yeah,
agree with them.
yeah.
You're not going to get much movement between the top, number 1 or number 5 unless Georgia would go and lose a game, and then even at that point, I don't think they're moving out of the top 5.
What's your biggest surprise so far this year?
Out of the top 5 or out of the top
Yeah,
25?
let's just say out of the top five.
Out
Do you
of
have a surprise that is kind of surprised that they're there?
Honestly, Texas.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Texas to me is the biggest surprise, in my opinion.
Well, we all know how we feel about Florida State. They got a couple Michigan State guys that transferred over there, and that's the only real reason why they're any good. I mean,
I got
maybe there's a good reason why they transferred out now.
you. But yeah, I think Texas to me, that's probably the biggest surprise. I would
Hmm.
agree with you on that.
Yeah. They had that big win over Alabama that pretty much shocked the whole nation
Yeah.
with that. Um, you got any big upsets coming for this week that you think may happen?
I don't know if I call it an upset, but I do think Oregon loses or wins. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I think Colorado gets beat. I think as great as the Deion Sanders story is, because that's what we'll call it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we'll see that there is flaws still at Colorado, even though they've done great, and they still may win. I mean, there's a chance, but yeah, I think Oregon. I personally, I think Oregon destroys them. I'm gonna be honest. So I'm looking forward to that game, and I'm also looking forward to the UCLA versus Utah game.
Yes, that is going to be a
I think
really
that's
good
gonna be a
game.
good one. Yeah, I think that'll be a really good game. So we'll see, but I think that one actually could really go anyway. I know UCLA is number 22, but they play a lot better than the number 22 team.
Yep.
Um,
Who
the
does?
Oregon State versus Washington State is going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's nice that there's actually finally some ranked teams playing against each other.
Right.
Ohio State and Notre Dame. I'm looking forward to that. I hope Notre Dame wins, but I don't know.
I will
So
say there is one team that is legit that I think should be a little bit higher. I think
who's that?
Washington should be right up there next to the top five. They are
Yeah,
a
because they're
really
8
good
right
team.
now. Who have they played? Um,
Well, they killed Michigan State last week. I believe they're 3-0.
yeah, because they demolished. Yeah, they demolished everybody they played, ain't they?
Mm-hmm.
Every game they played, they scored over 40 points. So yeah, I mean, we'll really find out how good they are on October 14th. They go against Oregon.
Yep.
Um, and I'm gonna be honest, actually got some other good teams. They got USC, they got to play. They got Utah, they got to play. Oregon State. Actually, the last four of their games is against the ranked opponents. They definitely could go into the top five, 100%. Maybe into the top three if they win all of them.
Yeah, and I know we mentioned before about USC, UCLA, Oregon, and Washington all moving into the Big Ten next year. The Big Ten's going to be very, 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 very competitive next year.
Yeah, I'm a SEC guy,
I know.
so you know that. But it is good to see other conferences get better. It is. And so, as a football fan in general, you've got to like it, and I'm anxious to see how they all do.
Right. So let's transition out of the college football world and now go into the NFL. We got a
Yeah.
big game tonight between the Giants and 49ers. Um,
There's a bunch of stuff I want to talk about in the NFL side of things.
Go ahead. You have the floor.
Um, I think San Francisco is going to win tonight's game. I'll be honest. I do. Saquon Barkley not playing. They
Hmm.
made that official. So I think San Francisco is going to. I mean, you're playing at San Fran. I think San Fran's going to just demolish them.
Right.
Um, but some other big news: Cam Akers got traded to Minnesota.
Yep.
And me and you talked about something yesterday on the phone,
Hmm.
and it was, will the Jets be competitive anymore this year with Zach Wilson at quarterback? I brought up the thing that I could see Kirk Cousins getting traded to New York.
Right.
Um, and I kind of went a little bit more into that last night. I started reading more about it if it could happen. So if they was to trade Kirk Cousins to the Jets, they would get a number one pick. Okay, I get
Yep.
that. Now keep in mind that Green Bay will have the pick still, if I'm not mistaken. They can't. They won't have the pick because Aaron Rodgers. The Jets won't until after the year because technically that pick is in Green Bay.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers had to play 65% of his snaps, so they can't trade that away in the middle of the season.
Right.
Um, so the pick would actually be a year after. So it'd be a 2025 first round pick and Zach Wilson for Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins on a contract year.
Hmm.
Let's be honest, Minnesota's not going to win that division. They're going to be
No.
lucky to make playoffs, just being honest. I think that they're starting to do like a small rebuild. They learned that Alexander Madison's not the guy. That's
Yep.
why they brought Cam Akers in. And as I've heard rumors why Cam Akers got traded out.
Well, wasn't there an
Um,
issue between him and Sean McVay?
Apparently, he wanted to sleep with Sean McVay's wife.
Hmm.
Yeah, so figure that one out. That's why McVay wanted him out. But either way, I could see Cousins getting traded out. But then it brings up the factor Justin Jefferson, who don't have a contract yet.
Yep.
Will he want to stay in Minnesota for like a rebuild? I
I
don't
don't.
know.
I don't think he will.
I don't think you would want to. But the thing is, if you're Minnesota, you can't trade away the number one receiver in the NFL. You just can't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't anyway. But Jefferson could be like, hey, I just won't sign and I'll just go on free agent.
Right. Because
So
I mean, if I'm Jefferson right now, I'm kind of ticked off because I'm your
yeah,
number one receiver, and you're signing everybody else and taking all this money that should be
yeah,
should be kind of for me, and you're
yeah.
you're not doing anything for me.
And that's the thing. It all comes down to for Jefferson, do you want a championship now? If you want a championship now, you got to find a way out of Minnesota.
Hmm.
You have to. And there's some teams that I think would, be able to try to get him. Honestly, Dallas is one. But there's some other teams as well. But Dallas really does come to mind when I think of that. Now,
Yeah.
this is all hypothetical if they trade Kirk Cousins.
Right.
Um, and that's really what it comes down to. If they trade Kirk Cousins, will Justin Jefferson want him to stay a Minnesota Viking?
Hmm.
I don't think he would either. I don't see why you would want to. So we'll just have to kind of see how that plays out, honestly.
Yeah, and then obviously, big news coming out of Cleveland. Kareem Hunt has signed a 1-year contract with them to kind of
Yeah.
help fill the void of Nick Chubb.
And I still think that is Fuller's team
Yep.
as far as running back goes. Because and with that, I see it like this. I see that you're not going to get rid of. You're not going to. They didn't re-sign Hunt for a reason because they wanted Ford to be the backup guy.
Right.
You're not going to bring Hunt in to take over the top spot when you could just move Ford up.
Right.
You know.
Unless Ford really doesn't show that he should
Yeah.
be the number one guy, then I could see them trying Kareem Hunt. And even at that
Yeah.
point, I don't see Hunt being just clearly the number one back. I see them on a game by game basis, maybe flip flopping to see how they can control the beginning of the game. If
Yeah.
they use Hunt at the beginning of the game and they got good running, if they're able to move the ball very well, then they may just end up staying with Hunt on first and second down plays and then using Ford for like the third and ones or third and inches or fourth and inches plays or the goal line plays. But then at the same time, if Ford's able to break off these good runs and do the same thing that I just talked about Kareem Hunt, then I can actually see them using Kareem Hunt as, you know, the same, let alone, you know, really good for like screenplays and stuff if Deshaun Watson is getting a lot of pressure in the being in the pocket.
Yeah, and that's what it's. I mean, and right now, I think what they may try to do, and you kind of hit on, I think it's going to be more of a committee style running back. You know.
It works. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we've seen it in, I believe it was the Chargers organization where they had uh oh, what's his name? I'm drawing a blank here. Uh
LT.
huh?
Was it Ladainian Tomlinson or Austin Eckler?
It was Austin Eckler and I believe,
Oh, who else was that? I can't remember who it was
yeah,
either.
where they had basically like a two-headed monster type of thing
Yeah,
where,
I can't remember who that was. Anyway,
but
I can't not remember for nothing who it is.
mhm.
Who
But
did they trade? What did they trade? What did they get out of Cam Akers? Do you remember?
I don't know. I believe it may have just been a pick.
I want to say it was like a third round pick.
Right.
Never mind. It was a sixth round pick. So that goes to show you the Vikings will send a conditional sixth round pick to the Rams in exchange for Akers in a 2006 seventh round. They just wanted him gone.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is.
And I'm gonna make
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a bold statement here. I think Matthew Stafford is done after this year.
Oh, I could see it too. I think that, and if we're going to talk about the Lions, I think that there has to be something done.
Hmm.
And I said Lions, I meant the
The Rams.
Rams. Yeah. Um, Rams have a lot of one and two, first and second year player. Yeah, they got Cooper Cup and stuff like that, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens to Sean McVay after this season.
Yep. I can actually see Sean McVay getting the boot. Matthew Stafford
He
retiring.
may just retire, to be honest.
Yeah. Um. But we'll see what happens. Some other news around the league. I know I'm kind of going back into the NFC North, but at one point this week it was announced that Justin Fields would not be taking first team reps in practice. They were going to start
Mhm.
their backup, but then all of a sudden their defensive coordinator resigned from the team, and then the news broke out that his house was raided for some reason. Now, I haven't heard the whole reason why the defensive coordinator's house was being raided, but um, after that news came out, they had came back and said that Justin Fields will in fact be the starter for this week. Um, kind of a
Yeah, but
turn.
here's the problem: that whole locker room is broken.
It is.
It's broken already because Justin Fields goes out in the media. He blames the coaching staff for poor offensive display, and they went and they signed Nate Peterman.
Yes.
Like, bro, that whole. And I'm going to be honest. I don't think Justin Fields is a bad quarterback. I don't. Now, is he great? No, I don't think he's great, but he's not bad. I
Hmm.
think that whole coaching staff is bad. I don't
Yeah.
think that they're making. And I'm not saying they're. Well, I guess I did say they're bad, but we shouldn't say they're bad. I don't think they're meant for his style of play.
I don't think so either because I was looking. They had posted his stats, Justin Fields' stats, out of the out of the games that he's played so far. He's got 101 sacks from standing in the pocket for 4+ seconds. I mean, he's
There's a
not.
lot of rumors. There's a lot of rumors going around about Chicago,
Yeah,
and
and
I can tell you rumors about Justin Fields if you want to know.
yeah.
One of the rumors are the Chicago Bears trade him to Tennessee Titans for Malik Willis and a pick.
Mhm.
Another rumor that's going around is the Chicago Bears trade him to the Jets for Zach Wilson and a pick, kind of similar to the Kirk Cousins trade.
Right.
Another rumor is the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't see that happening
No.
personally. I think Jimmy G may be there, but it could. Um, but that's three of the rumors kind of going around right now.
Uh, Pate on Facebook says Cousins to Dallas if Dak gets hurt. I could actually see that too.
Yeah, because Dak's got a lot to prove himself, honestly. But I think all Dallas needs. I know they got CeeDee Lamb.
Yep.
To me, Dallas has. I don't think they have the best offensive line. That to me, that's their only weakness.
Mhm.
Honestly, I think that is their biggest weakness. That and Dak. Um, their defensive line is probably the best in football, and I hate saying that because I'm an Eagles fan. But I think that Micah Parsons does amazing. Like, it's hard to argue with. And to me, it's in order the best defensive players: Micah Parsons, then the lines.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Um, yeah, them two are the best in my opinion. And any week it could switch.
Right. Speaking.
So, you know, I think it's going to take some time till we see. I think with Jerry Jones, we know Jerry Jones is a very patient person
Yep.
when it comes to, especially Dak. But Dak's on a proven year though. Like he's going to have to prove himself.
Oh yeah. Um. Speaking of Detroit, there's a lot of injuries going around right now. You got David Montgomery out for a few weeks. You got C.J. Gardner-Johnson now out with a torn pec, possibly out for the rest of the season. But you've also got um, Aiden Hutchinson now without James Houston, who is his number two right hand man for getting pressure on the quarterback. And I don't know what they're gonna do as far as these edge rushers. I know
Yeah.
they had some. I believe it was 7 people try out that have been in the league before. They've signed a couple to kind of help fill the injury bug void, but at the same time, we are getting back Tracy Walker, who has, I believe it was a year ago yesterday, in week three, or yeah, a year ago, week 3 of the NFL. This was yesterday, a year ago. He tore his Achilles. He's coming back this week, so he's going to kind of help with, filling that void of C.J. Gardner Johnson. But you also have our other cornerback, Kirby Joseph, didn't practice on Wednesday with a whole bunch of other people like Amon-Ra St. Brown, who thankfully is practicing today. Um, injuries. It always plays a factor in everybody's season.
Yeah, I'm sitting here just kind of looking over some of the game preview stuff for that game. And when you said that the players are out, now they're going to be able to double team Hutchinson.
Yep.
And here's where the problem is going to lie in this game versus the Falcons. And the Falcons could win this game. They really could.
Yep.
They're a solid team. I think they're 2-0 actually, which is kind of surprising to people.
Right.
Desmond Ritter is a very mobile quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it's going to hurt the Lions because if you can't get pressure on him, have fun.
Right.
And without some of your defensive players on there, can you get pressure on him? I don't know. Maybe. I do know Jeff Okuda, who the Lions had,
Yep.
could be starting actually this week.
Okay.
So the Falcons could be making his return this week. So that's going to be interesting. And also another big thing in this game that a lot of Lions fans and Falcons fans are going to be watch is Gibbs versus Robertson
Yeah.
because the Lions picked Gibbs. They could have took Robinson.
Yep.
They chose not to. So you got to prove this week, I think, to your fans that you took the right guy. So you could expect a lot of run heavy offense by the Lions and by the Falcons, really.
Right. It's gonna be a big showdown between Bijan Robinson and
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs, like you said, because we really haven't used Jahmyr Gibbs as kind of like what the Falcons are using with Bijan Robinson, because the only reason why we're having this conversation is because of the way that the Falcons are using Bijan Robinson. You know, if the
Yeah,
Lions were using Jahmyr Gibbs the same way the Falcons are using with Robinson, we wouldn't be having this discussion.
yeah, and plus you got the running back by committee down in Atlanta as well with what's his name, Allgaier.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I mean, he's carrying the ball as well. So really, you're getting a two-headed punch with the Falcons right now. Falcons are playing good football, like they are. I'm very surprised.
Yeah.
Um, but they haven't really faced a great defense yet. And
Mm-hmm.
granted, I know the Lions are still hurt,
Yep.
but you're still facing a very smart Lions team. So we'll see what happens. I think the Lions are going to win because they're playing in Detroit, but it could go either way.
Biggest thing is to not let Dan Campbell make
Yeah.
bonehead decisions like he did last week.
It really could come down between coaching, honestly.
Coaching, and I know one thing's for sure. I seen a video for I believe it was Woodward Sports Network, who they do a daily podcast talking about the Lions and the Tigers and everything else that goes, all the Detroit sports and stuff. But they actually had somebody that it was a Atlanta Falcons fan, and he had asked them, how do you feel about the Falcons? And he said they are very, very scared still of their team because just like us, we don't know what to make. We don't know what to make of the Lions right now because typically
Yeah.
years past, we've always found ways to lose games, and now the Falcons are 2-0, we're 1-1, and like you said, Desmond Ritter, not really a
That's what it's going
household
to come down
name.
to. That's who it's really going to come down to.
Yeah.
and it's wrong. Like it is. And I like Desmond Ritter, honestly, I do. We'll see if that kind of produces, with him later on. It may not be great, but I think he's an okay quarterback. He may. I don't know if he's going to be elite though.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see. Um, how are your Eagles looking for this week?
We're going to lose this week to. No, we play Tampa Bay Monday night. Um, very impressed with the defense, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I am. I'm very impressed. I know the score hasn't showed that really in both games, but the defense honestly has stepped up big because the scores ain't really been that close. It's always trash touchdowns at the end make it close.
Right.
So they had a bunch of turnovers, but they're going against a very smart Baker Mayfield right now. Gosh, I can't believe I said that.
I know.
Um, but they are going to face Buccaneers, who Mike Evans is literally just shredding defenses. Um, it's going to be a very interesting matchup with him versus Darius Slay. That's going to
Mm-hmm.
be really good to watch them two go at it. I do think the Eagles win still, but I think it's going to be another. I mean, they really could lose too because they're playing in Tampa Bay. It could go either way. I didn't think Tampa Bay would be that good. I'll be honest, but I will say I'm not very happy with the Eagles' offensive coordinator
Mm-hmm.
because the old one, Shane Wright, I believe is his last name, Lynch or Wright. I can't. I believe it's Lynch is his name. Anyway, he went to Indianapolis, and that has hurt the offense for the Eagles.
Yep.
I know that Alshon Jeffrey, AJ Brown, not very happy that he hadn't got the ball a lot.
Yep.
But they do have a good run game. It showed last week when DeAndre Swift, which thank you, Detroit. We'll see how long he last week work, but literally has shredded defense with the run. So that could be a good game. I'm actually surprised there's two Monday night games for that, by the way, again.
Yeah. I kind of like the
So
the double Monday night
I do
games,
too. I do too.
but
Because you got the Rams and Bengals as well. Cowboys play the Cardinals. I think that we know the Cardinals are going to lose that one, I believe.
yep.
Um, Steelers and Raiders. Raiders,
Um,
I would say Raiders are going to win.
so yeah, let's go run through these games here and do our picks. We've already said the 49ers are going to beat up on the Giants. We already said the Lions are going to beat the Falcons by a small margin. How about the Chargers and Vikings?
I would say Chargers. I don't know though. Kirk Cousins is playing good. I'm gonna say Chargers just because I like Justin Herbert, but
Hmm.
it could go either way.
Saints and Packers. Who do you think will pick up
Saints,
that win?
Saints will win. I think that they're a better team than what people think
Yeah.
too. I'm very surprised with how they're playing. Another 2-0 team.
Texas and Jaguars.
You're gonna laugh. I'm gonna say Texans.
I think you're right. I,
I don't know why, but
just something about this game.
it's a conference game. Yeah, it's a conference game. They know each other really well. As
Yep.
much as I like Doug Peterson, I think the Texans are still rebuilding, and I like C.J. Stroud. I really like C.J. Stroud.
Right. Um, Here's another one that I think that will shock some people. Broncos and Dolphins. I think I actually see the Broncos finally breaking through and beating somebody this week.
Well, with that defense, the Broncos' defense is really good. I'm gonna say Dolphins still, but that's gonna be very close. But the Broncos' defense is actually pretty solid.
Titans and Browns.
I'm gonna go with Tennessee
Um,
just because. I mean, I didn't. Deshaun Watson's not playing good football, and without Nick Chubb,
yeah.
I just don't know if you're gonna be able to beat Tennessee.
Bills and Commanders. We kind of talked about this throughout the week here. We both kind of feel like the Bills would actually
Yeah,
be able to beat the Commanders, but Sam Howell is playing some really good football.
yeah, and there's a chance I believe Chase Young might be playing too for the
Hmm.
Commanders. Um, that could be a really close game. I'm still going to go Buffalo, but I think it's going to be close.
Who else do we have? Colts versus
Colts
the
and Ravens.
Ravens.
I don't know if Anthony Richards is playing. If he plays, Colts. If he don't, Ravens.
Patriots and Jets. I think the Patriots are finally going to get their first win of the year.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think Jets are too beat up. I mean, it's Zach Wilson. You ain't worried. Bill Belichick don't worry too much about quarterbacks anymore.
No. I did
So
see an interesting stat though that this is the first year that the Patriots have gone 0-2 since
yeah,
2001.
pretty surprising.
Mm-hmm. Panthers and Seahawks. I see Seahawks
Close
winning that
game.
game
Close game, but yeah, Seahawks. That's what I got as well.
because Bryce Young.
Yeah, I
Uh,
don't know if he's playing. That's right.
yeah, he's got an
He's
ankle
still in
injury.
concussion. Ain't he in concussion protocol too? No, that's Richardson.
No, yeah, that's Anthony Richardson. Chiefs, Bears. Chiefs should be able to win this game easily.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck for the Bears. That team's falling apart. So
Yeah. Cowboys, Cardinals. You already said that the Cowboys should be able to beat
Cowboys.
them. Steelers and Raiders. You already said.
Interesting game. Yeah, I think Steelers or Raiders are going to win, but that's an interesting game.
Uh, Eagles and Bucks. I see the Eagles winning, but I think this is going to be a closer game than what we all want.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's going to be close too. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game.
And for our final game this week in the NFL, the Rams and the Bengals. This is a Super Bowl rematch,
Rematch. Yeah.
and
2 years ago, wasn't it?
I believe it was
Two or
two.
3 years.
I believe it was
I
two
believe so.
years.
I got Cincinnati winning this
See,
because right now they're 0-2, but it really could go. And right now, by the way, Joe Burrow's day to day, so there's a chance he may not play.
yeah. So I mean, if he doesn't play, I see the Rams actually winning this because yes,
Yeah,
they are with without Cam Akers, but they've also got that
that's true.
Karen or Caven Williams or whoever his name is.
Yeah, a lot of good players over there.
So, but those are your games for this week and your picks for this week. Um,
By the way, just so I can get this out there real quick, Bryce Young misses a second straight practice today.
mhm.
Dalton is getting first team reps. So just idea. And also no timeline right now for Austin Eckler's return.
Yeah, so that'll be killer for the Chargers there.
Mhm.
Um, any other NFL related news or anything like
Nothing
that?
really. Nah, nothing really.
All right. Fantasy football time.
I was just looking it up.
Yeah. We've got some really good games this week matched up. I know I'm projected to right now tie mine. Um, how's your?
There is a guy, by the way, that I want to reach out to people that might play fantasy,
Mhm.
and I want to go ahead and give people the pick. His name is you're gonna laugh, but I gotta actually search his name real quick because I want to make sure I try to pronounce this right.
Okay.
He plays for the Rams. Yeah, Puka Nakaya, I believe is how you say his name.
Yep.
Pukanacua. A lot of people don't have him.
Yep.
Now, if you just need a quick receiver, there's just somebody to get. He has had 15 targets in his first game, 20 targets in the second game. And I think that will stay there at least until Cooper Cup comes back. So you can use him for about 2 more weeks. So if you really need a wide receiver, there's somebody to pick up.
Yeah, he's literally like the Cooper Cup 2.0.
Yeah, yeah, he's not bad. I tried to
Um,
trade for him. Just FYI.
well,
Yeah.
we've all tried to trade for somebody else, but somebody who
It's
has
tough.
well, somebody that's got over 200 teams in fantasy football, you would think that they would allow you to kind of make some trades and take some chances, but hey, it's
Yeah,
on them.
he really wants to win this league.
Yep,
No, I'm 1-1 right now in fantasy.
yep.
I am projected to lose, however, this week, which you know how that can go. And that's who I play, by the way. The man with 200 points. I am sitting second in my division. You are sitting ninth currently.
Yeah,
Uh, Currently leading the division is Brisket Bros. I'm sorry, hold on. Well, currently leading the league because I'm actually leading my division.
right.
Granted, there's 4 of us. That's literally 1-1. So I guess you could say we're all leading the division. But I got a 1-0 record in the division. So, but Brisket Bros a depressed Saints fan, and her league currently 2-0. That's a pretty big matchup for them too.
Yeah, very, very big matchup for them because obviously, like we just said, that they're both 2-0, the only two teams that are undefeated.
Yeah,
So,
and they're same division, so this will be the only team that will be left.
yep.
Um, Speaking of which, while we're here, looks like that we can announce it kinda that we will have a trophy for that league. By the way, I believe.
Yep, we're gonna start checking into
Pretty
that,
cool.
see which ones we kind of like. We're not gonna go too crazy, but
Some of these are expensive, but that one's pretty cool.
yeah, I think the thing is that I don't know. We're really gonna have to sit down and discuss what we're gonna do. But ideally, what we should do is if we're gonna keep the same 10 people in our league year after year, it should be whoever wins the league gets to hold that trophy for a year, and then whoever wins the following year, they get some way somehow that trophy. The player that had it the previous year will get a replica made.
That's pretty cool.
That
Yeah,
way
that'd
they
be pretty
can.
cool.
And then I believe we started talking earlier before we came on the air. I think we're gonna try to do something for somebody that's gonna finish at the
So
bottom of the barrel.
I have found a trophy for that. It's called Mirror Fantasy Football Loser Mirror, and it's whoever's the biggest loser in fantasy football. It literally says mirror, mirror on the wall. Who is the biggest fantasy loser of them all? And it's got a mirror, and you can look into it. So I think,
Uh,
and it's pink.
oh
So
gosh.
yeah, I feel like that's a really good one. There's a couple on here that looks really good though, but nah, we're definitely going to get one or two. We'll see. There's a bunch of stuff like we can get a flag. It says I suck at fantasy football.
I will
Um,
I will gladly fly that flag because I mean I've got some good team. I've got good players on my team, and we went through this yesterday. Matter of fact, on the phone. My problem is the luck.
they literally have this like flags. You can get like stickers, a magnet that goes on your car. It says "Please be patient. I suck at fantasy football." But yeah, we're
uh,
gonna do something fun. Yeah, we're gonna do something cool. It'll be different.
yeah. So there's your latest news on fantasy football, NFL, and college football. I do believe we have an announcement here, uh, kind of like a cross promotion type deal that I will let you kind of announce and go from there.
Yeah. So did we get an exact date yet?
I don't think we have an exact date.
We will right now. Uh, let's see. What's today? Today's Thursday. So I
Thursday, yep.
believe it was going to be October the 3rd. I believe.
Okay.
A new podcast coming out. It will be in the evening though. It
All right.
won't be during the day because people work and stuff. We're going to have special guests. But it's called Back in the Water Fishing Podcast. It's something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. I'm going to be the host of it. Todd's going to be my producer of it. And basically, what it's going to do is focus on the world of kayak fishing, localized in Tennessee. Now, we will have some national stuff that we'll mention, in the podcast as well. But a lot of it's going to be focused more regional here where I'm at. I've really been wanting to start it for a long time. We're going to have special guests. I already got 3 special guests lined up for the first 4 weeks. The first podcast won't have a special guest. It'll just be me talking about some stuff. And then after that, we'll have some special guests. And we'll announce the guest a little bit closer on the
Yep.
first podcast. We'll announce it, who it is. So really looking forward to it. Got some pretty big names coming on.
Yeah.
Some guys may know as far as national attention. Um, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. I mean, we were sitting here thinking earlier that, if this thing really could take off, we could do some really
Yeah,
good and
really
really
cool
cool
stuff.
things. So,
Yeah, we got some really big ideas for it. I do think that it's going to be big. I do. You know, I like doing these podcasts with you.
yep.
And I love talking about football, but fishing's where my heart's at. I think everybody knows that.
Yep.
So I'm really looking forward to going that. It's a little bit different, so I think it'll be fun. Plus, it
Yeah.
might help some people that might want to fish and learn how.
Exactly. Like I know how to fish, but there could be
Yeah,
certain things that I can pick up on and improve the
yeah,
way how I fish and everything
100%.
else. So
We're
I'm
gonna
really
have some
looking
good
forward to it.
people. Yeah, we're gonna have some really good people that come on that knows what they're talking about, and they know what they're talking about for a reason. So really looking forward to it.
All right. Well, you got anything else you want to mention before we take off?
Go Braves, by the way.
Yeah.
Um, they play tonight. Only I think like 3 games, 4 games away from winning 100 games on the year. So look forward to that.
All right. Well, for Adam Chapman and myself, we want to say thank you for watching our podcast. And I'm going through all my pages like I shouldn't be because I'm trying to get to the right one. But here we go. Thank you for watching our podcast today. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and on Spotify. I'm hoping to get this episode today up on Spotify today. I know I've been lacking on the last couple of episodes of getting that up there, but Back on the Water podcast will always be on Spotify as well. It can also be on your anywhere you listen to podcasts, Apple, Google, iHeartRadio, all them other places. So we got some really cool things going with that. But for Adam Chapman and myself, we want to say thank you and have a great day.